organization. So, ayan. So, siya po ay isang permaculture designer, educator at ecological entrepreneur dedicated to building regenerative futures through land-based learning. He is the founder of Habilin Farms in Tayabas, Quezon, 2.2-hectare permaculture learning site that integrates agroecology, bamboo building, ecological tourism, and cultural preservation. Known online as Permaculture Tito, he shares practical and logical grounded insights through blogs. And mapafollow niyo din po siya sa Facebook, Ben Francia. Ayan, workshops and videos, making permaculture more accessible to Filipinos from all walks of life. So his works bridges ancestral knowledge, regenerative farming, and community resilience with a deep commitment to earth care, people care, and fair share. He believes that permaculture is not just a farming method, but a way of life for healing land, culture, and self. So, ang ating pong keynote speaker sa Maganang Mundo Year 2, Mr. Ben Francia. Palakpakan po natin.
Thank you so much. Maraming salamat sa introduction. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Ako po ay Ben Francia po ulit ang aking pangalan. Tama po, ako po'y galing pa all the way from Tayabas, Quezon. Pero nag-spend po ako ng night sa Manila para hindi diretso ang biyahe, no? So maraming salamat po for the invitation. It's always a pleasure to share my shared advocacy, no? Of not just protecting the environment, but protecting the people, no? Who's supposed to take care of the environment also. Eh po, so unang-una po kinakabahan ako, no? Bigla akong kinabahan. Bali, unang-una, when I was invited na mag-share po, magsalita sa event na to, game kagad ako, no? I just make sure na walang conflict doon sa schedule kasi birthday weekend ng daughter ko ngayon. So sabi ko baka may lakad kami yung anything. Buti na lang, bakante po like yung itong particular time block na to. Kaya I was able to come. Secondly, hindi po ako kinabahan nung in-invite ako. Nung nalaman ko na keynote speaker pala ako, doon ako kinabahan. Sabi ko, pressure yata to, no? And at the same time, hindi naman po ako bago na nagsasalita in front of people. Madaldal din kasi ako. I love talking about nature. I love talking about permaculture. Pero kadalasan na ilalagay po ako sa mga challenging na time slots. Kadalasan yung first slot in the afternoon kung saan inaantok ang mga tao. So, akala ko nakaligtas ako doon sa challenging slot na yun. Ngayon, hindi naman pala. Ako naman pala yung first. Anyway, so, ang haba na introduction ko. Yun lang po, para lang makalma ako ng konti. So, I don't wanna, consider myself as a speaker. I'd like to consider myself as a storyteller. Okay, so ang gagawin ko po ngayong umaga na to, ikukwento ko lang po sa inyo yung journey ko about my connection with nature. No, bakit kwento? Kasi may kasabihan nga po na nasa kwento ang kwenta. No? So ibig sabihin kung walang kwento, walang kwenta. So magbibigay po ako ng kwenta para sa araw na ito sa pamamagitan ng mga kwento po. Okay. So, anyway, when I was invited dun sa letter, nakalagay po dun, Ben Francia, environmental activist. Okay, so parang medyo nag-goosebumps ako, no? Kasi I really don't consider myself as an environmental activist to start with. For you to better relate to that, mas maganda kung yung kwento ko how I started. So, my background po kasi is completely different from what I am doing right now. So, ako po ay ako ay laking Maynila. So, born and raised in Manila. So, city boy talaga ako. So, as a result, alam niyo yung laki sa Maynila na halos walang connection sa kalikasan. Absolutely very disconnected ako from nature, very disconnected ako from the environment. Very disconnected ako with food in particular. No? So, may probinsya po kami, Tayabas, pero very minimal ang connection ko doon. And at the same time, ang line of business ko po kasi I used to run a small digital marketing agency. So, nagbi-build kami ng websites, ganyan po yung trabaho ko, no? And ang oras ko ay nauubos po in front of the computer. No, kung lalabas man ako, punta akong coffee shop, dala ko rin laptop ko, in front of the computer pa rin. Alright, so I guess I just wanna establish po na sobrang layo ang background ko. But then, 2020, everybody would know kung ano yung nangyari ng 2020. The pandemic hit, COVID hit. So, it was during that time na nakulong po kami sa aming bahay sa Pasig. Hindi ka makalabas, may pera kang pambili ng pagkain, hindi ka makabili ng pagkain na gusto mo, na kailangan mo, yung pagkain na masustansya, no? So, medyo parang sa akin, wake-up call yun at that time. So sabi ko, how I wish inabutan kami ng pandemic na nandun kami sa isang maliit na kubo sa bukid, na meron kang mga pinipitas na mga halaman, close to nature, hindi mo kailangan mag-face mask, walang social distancing. So, it was because of that na gumawa ko ng paraan na maka-travel po ako sa probinsya, sa Tayabas, mga 3-hour drive po south of Metro Manila, para simulan po yung farm doon, kasi meron po kaming maliit na property doon ng pamilya. I-job start. Kumbaga yun na envision ko. Sabi ko, ayaw ko nang mangyari at ma-experience uli yung na-experience ko po during the pandemic. So, sa madaling salita, takot lang po ako magutom, no? So, and at the same time, my major realization, sabi ko, ang tunay na talaga magsusurvive sa mundong ito ay ang taong marunong magtanim. So, yun po ang ginawa ko. So, I started planting, I started learning permaculture, dinevelop ko po yung farm. And from there, I spent a lot of time with nature. Kasi bukid po eh. So, umuwi pa rin po ako ng Maynila. However, 80%, 90% of my time po ay nandun po ako sa bukid. Which is something very new to me. Okay? Hindi naman po ako nahirapan mag-adjust. Pero what I realized, the more you spend time pala with nature, the more you get connected to it. Para lang pong kaibigan yan eh. Alam mo yun? The more you spend time with a person, the more you talk to a person, the more you get to understand that person. Naiintindihan mo ano yung gusto niya, naiintindihan mo ano yung ayaw niya, naiintindihan mo kung ano yung nakakasakit sa kanya, at alam mo rin, you get to understand kung ano yung makakabuti at magpapasaya sa kanya. So, it was then that I was able to cultivate that deeper relationship with nature. Okay? So, ayun po. So, because of with that, syempre, na-realize ko po eventually kung ano ba yung mga current na mga problema sa kalikasan. Mas naging aware po ako this time because mas naging personal na, I guess, because of that connection that I was able to establish. Nakita ko yung problema sa kalikasan, mas naging aware ako sa problema sa basura, sa baha, itong mga destruction na nangyari sa ating mga kabundukan at sa ating mga kagubatan. And at the same time, nakita ko yung epekto po sa local community because I was able to integrate myself with the local community also. Kasi doon po ako tumira, no? So sabi ko, what can I do now? Ano po ang pwede kong gawin? Hindi naman ako tao na very influential. Hindi naman ako tao na may resources. No? Hindi naman ako aktivista na naririnig palagi ng mga tao. Okay? So, one thing that really changed the direction was the issue of the Banahaw Wind Power Project in Tayabas. So ano po yung Banahaw Wind Power Project? Ang Banahaw Wind Power Project is a 237 megawatt wind power project. Mga windmills po at planong itayo yan sa bundok ng Banahaw. Okay? Ang Habilin Farms, yung pangalan po ng aming farm, ay matatagpuan po sa paanan mismo ng Bundok Banahaw. So, nung lumabas po yung issue niya yan, that was August of 2025. Bagong-bago lang, wala pang isang taon. Nagulat po kami lahat. And in my case, the way I felt that time was totally different. Why? Kasi yung issue po became personal to me. Kasi as in, parang magtatayo sila ng malaking ventilador sa likod ng bahay namin. Parang ganun yung pakiramdam. And it was because of that I really, kumbaga, did something. Siguro just to put some context, bakit tinutulan namin yung proyekto na yun, no? Kasi ang Bundok Banahaw po ay ang pinakamataas at pinakamalaki na bundok sa Region 4A sa Calabarzon. Okay? Ito yung isang active volcano. Alright? Not only that, ang Mount Banahaw ay isang tinatawag na Volcan de Agua. Volcan de Agua kasi punong-puno siya ng tubig. It is a critical watershed. Okay? Ano po ba ibig sabihin pag sinabi nating watershed? Ang watershed po, kadalasan po yan yung mga kabundukan na nag-iipon ng tubig kapag ka umuulan. Imagine para siyang isang malaking sponge ng tubig. Pag umulan, since maraming puno, ina-absorb niya lahat ng tubig. At yung tubig na yun, unti-unti niyang binibigay sa mga tao sa pamamagitan ng mga rivers, mga streams, yung mga sapa, yung mga bukal. Okay? Ang major source po ng tubig sa buong Calabarzon, Banahaw. Yung mga water distributing companies, sa Banahaw po kumukuha ng tubig. Okay? So, isang malaking epekto nung windmills na yun, sisirain talaga niya ang watershed ng Banahaw. Not only that, ang malaking portion ng tatamnan din ay agricultural, so hanap buhay ng mga magsasakay apektado, not to mention destruction of biodiversity, and lastly, the cultural significance of Banahaw. And Banahaw po ay alam natin ay sagradong bundok. Okay, so kumbaga pagka walang respeto kapag tinayo natin yung mga windmills doon. So sabi ko hindi po ako influential na tao. So ang ginawa ko lang ay nag-record lang ako ng video and we started posting and sharing those videos online. So that's what we did. To our surprise, yung content that we've been posting, simply educating people lang po about the damage of itong mga windmill projects na to, ay kumbaga kumalat. Okay. And it was because of that, eventually, people started inviting me to talk about the windmills, to talk about environmentalism, and people started to call me an environmental activist. Okay, so kapag sinabi po natin na environmental activist, tanggalin na lang muna natin yung environmental, just the word activist. What comes into your mind when you hear that word? Anybody? Taas kamao, makibaka, di ba? Ano pa po? Pag sinabi aktivista, terorista, di ba? NPA. Okay? Kadalasan kapag sinabi natin aktivista, it comes with a negative connotation for some reason. Alright? Red tagged, maingay, okay? At palaging confrontational. Alright? Pero it doesn't have to be always like that. Okay? So parang ayun yung issue na sabi ko, parang mali. There could be something more to environmental activism than just yung negative connotation to it. Okay? So, yun po, bali, in the past years, na-expose po ako sa maraming tao because of what I do sa permaculture. Na-expose po ako sa mga ganitong mga events, na-expose ako sa mga tao katulad nyo, mga tao na makalikasan, na-involve po ko sa mga iba't ibang mga organizations, CSOs. I'm actively participating in mga organic farmers organizations. I'm also part of slow food movement here in the Philippines, in Quezon. Then I realized na ang environmental activism pala comes in different forms. Na you don't have to be loud, confrontational. Hindi mo kailangan palagi may hawak na mikropono for you to become an environmental activist. All the more you don't need to go out na magwelga at magrally to become an environmental activist. So, being an activist pala simply means an activist is a person who takes action to create positive change to our environment. Diba? So, palitan na lang natin yun. So, blank activist. So, let's say, social activist, a person who actively who does activities, creates action in creating positive change to our society, to our community. So, yun po, ang isang tao na uma-action, yun po ang aktivista. In plain, simple terms. Okay? Then I realized po na ang environmental activism comes in different forms. Sa tutusin po, lahat po tayo dito are environmental activists. The fact na nandito tayo, nakikinig tayo, at nagpa-participate tayo sa activity na to. Unang-una po, ang personal choices natin. Ito po yung isang mukha ng environmental activism. We don't need to be in position, member ng organization by our own personal actions. Ang personal choices lang po natin, we can do environmental advocacy already. Paano po yung mga personal choices natin, let's say for example, basura, di ba? Basic segregation. Sa pagpili natin ng ating mga pagkain, choosing yung mga food na hindi nakakasihira ng kalikasan, choosing organic food. Pagpunta natin sa grocery po, di ba? Lahat po na nasa shelf na yan comes with packaging. Automatic po yan, may kabangga na basura. What if rather than eating out, rather than having food delivered sa inyong bahay, bumili po tayo sa palengke, or all the more, bumili po tayo directly sa ating mga kaibigang magsasaka at magluto tayo ng masustansyang pagkain. So those are personal choices na exhibit po yung environmental activism. Second, community engagement, community involvement. What we're doing right now, okay, is environmental activism already. Not just ako ay in-encourage ko po lahat, hindi lang po basta yung mag-participate sa ganitong mga activities, but all the more mag-organize po tayo in our small way. Kasi that will create a difference. Secondly, third na pala, creative expression. I'm happy to see na marami po sa ating mga participants dito are artists. So, creative expression with your music, with your art, okay? With your prose, with your talent, you can tell the story of our environment and influence other people to protect the planet. What else? Entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship po is or livelihood is an expression of environmental activism. Dito po may makikita po tayo ng mga nagbebenta, ng mga kalakal nila. At yan po ay isang expression po of environmental activism kasi ang binibenta po nila dito ay hindi lang produkto. Kasama po kabangga ng bawat produkto na binibenta nila ay kwento. Kwento kung paano natin pangangalagaan ang ating kalikasan. So social entrepreneurship, farming is a social enterprise. So ayun po, those are examples. Lastly, advocacy. Advocacy and policy change. Policy influence. So it's good, meron po ditong meron po tayong mga guests coming from the government. Not only people in the government has influence in public policy, maski po tayong mga mamamayan. Okay, pwede po tayong mag-participate. Ako po, simula nung nalaman ko na aba, pwede pala akong umupo sa Sangguniang Barangay Session. Aba, pwede rin pala akong umupo sa mag-audience sa council meeting ng bayan, ng munisipyo at ng province. I took advantage of that. Okay? Kasi it's in those opportunities that people like us, na sabihin natin wala tayong boses, doon po tayo mapakikinggan. Okay. So, I guess kung titingnan natin very broad, paano ba talaga ako magsisimula? Mas maganda po magsimula kung nasaan tayo at kung ano yung meron tayo. Gusto ko po i-call out yung presence sa mga kabataan natin dito. Kasi kadalasan sasabihin nila, kabataan lang kami, anong magagawa namin? Diba? Alam niyo ang asset ng mga kabataan na wala or kulang ang karamihan sa atin dito? Time and energy. That's your major asset eh. Guys, take advantage of that. Take advantage of that. How? Volunteerism. Participating in activities like this. Starting your own organization also that is, kumbaga, intended to protect our planet. So I did mention about our artists. Okay? Your art, your craft, you can start with that. Ito ay, kumbaga, not just creative expression, but also an expression of our advocacy. People, hindi po ba mas naiintindihan at mas nararamdaman natin ang mensahe kapag ito ay in a form of a song. Tama po ba? Kesa yung binasa mo lang yung kwento or kinuwento lang sa inyo. So, don't underestimate the power of your craft. Number 3, sino po dito ang parents? Can I see a raise of hands? Mga magulang po. Majority po pala ng ating participants dito ay magulang. The family, hindi magulang, no? Magulang pala. Sorry Parang hindi yata maganda yung kinalabasan ng pagkakasabi ko, no? Majority pala dito ay parents. Yan. So, as parents, malaki po ang obligasyon natin sa ating pamilya na ilagay sa tamang landas, no? Hindi lang po yung basta yung career ng ating mga anak, but also to show them yung tamang daan sa pangangalaga ng kalikasan. The relationships that we have in our family, those are our immediate influence. Diba? Kaya sabi nga nila, charity begins at home. Okay? Environmental activism also starts at home. Okay. And lastly, ang last po na gusto ko i-call out are, kumbaga, the advocates. Yung palagi nating, kumbaga, we look up to as influencers, as advocates. These are the people na, kumbaga, in authority. I guess ang asset po natin that we can capitalize on is our platform. Okay? So, gamitin po natin ang ating plataforma, ang ating influence, ang ating voice to spread that message. Now, I'm about to end po, don't worry, no? But before I end, let me align this to the theme for this event. Ang theme po natin ay bayan para sa kalikasan, kalikasan para sa bayan. So 2 words, kalikasan at bayan. Kung titingnan po natin, hindi magkaiba itong dalawa na to eh. Hindi lang siya basta magkaugnay. Okay? Para sa akin, they're part of one single unit. Kasi ang bayan at ang kalikasan, we're part of one single ecosystem. Okay? Kung anong mangyari sa tao, ikasasama po ng kalikasan. At kung anong mangyari sa kalikasan, mapasama, mapabuti, mararamdaman po ng taong bayan. Kaya kanina po, early morning, I posted something on Facebook. Sabi ko, if the community takes care of the environment, Tama ba? Parang mali yata, no? If the community takes care of the environment, syempre protected the environment. Okay? And at the same time, if the environment is protected, the community becomes strong also. So as you can see, ano siya, circular siya. Cycle po siya. So we're all in this together. Huwag po natin sabihin na kapag may ginawa tayo, nothing gets affected, tayo lang. Because it affects all of us. Okay? So, so that actually ends my my very short na kwento. But to end, allow me to share lang a quotation or a quote from Bill Mollison. Bill Mollison is the founder po of permaculture. Permaculture is what I practice po sa aking farming. Sabi ni Bill Mollison, though the problems of the world is increasingly being complex, the solutions remain embarrassingly simple. So kung itatranslate ko po sa Tagalog, parang sabi ni Bill Mollison, palaki ng palaki nga ang problema natin sa ating bayan, sa kalikasan, no? Sa ating komunidad. Pero ang nakakatawa dyan, ang solusyon, nakakahiyaman ay very simple lang po. Ito lang po ay pangangalaga sa kalikasan at pangangalaga sa kapwa-tao. Iyon lang po. So maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat. Thank you again sa opportunity.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Ben Francia. Salamat po sa inyong kwento. Kami po ay may natutunang kwenta sa inyong kwento. Ayan, hayaan niyo po akong basahin po ang